So I'm going to be doing this weekend review in a little bit different way. I'm going to be, how they say, multitasking. I'm doing a little car repair on my 1998 BMW. I have some, it's old. It's been outside for most of its life. I'm doing some surface refinishing of some of the weather stripping. So there's a little bit of corrosion, cleaning up the corrosion a little bit, but more importantly, I'm doing an experiment. It has this trim on here. It goes around the window like this. And this, see that little kind of bit of rust? It's kind of corroding a little bit, and at first I thought it was paint, like when my whole life. Like if we were to go to the other side of it, this is the driver's side. The passenger side has it like this. And it looks new. And I don't think it's paint. I think it's like a rubberized dip or a coating. So what I'm experimenting here is I'm going to removing it with a razor blade like this. Careful not to remove the paint, but that's like a part B part, not as important. So I'm going to get rid of this as best as I can. Blade actually does a really good job of it. Get it real nice and tight. Gonna get that rubberized plastic dip off. I'm gonna kind of emery cloth it and clean it up a bit. And then I'm gonna see what happens when I'm not gonna dip it because I'm not gonna remove it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of paint it a small layer on. And we can see what happens once it's done, once it's dried up, and once I finish it. So I'll show you the end result when that happens. In the meantime, I'm going to continue removing this while we chat. So the weekend review. My week was full of activities outside. The weather was awesome. We ran and biked in the trails. The trail conditions were awesome. It has subsequently rained, which the trail did need. It was cracking and sandy and dry as shit. So over the last couple of days it's been dry, or it's been raining, which the trail needs. What does tend to happen when it rains here is the low spots get a little bit of puddling action, but the higher spots, the trail, dirt, and whatnot, suck it up. And then just the surrounding greenery and leaves and trees and stuff start budding, and it's just like overnight it seems like spring arrives. So we biked and we ran. And around Edmonton is just some amazing trail systems in the river valley. And in another kind of valley called Mill Creek. Yeah. Because later in the year, we're not doing any specific trail races or anything for biking, but we are doing for running. It's an ultra marathon with a team called the Grizzly. and that's in Canmore in at Thanksgiving, so that's kind of later October. More on that. I'll show you more on that later. I'm also getting ready to run. Well, I'm continually road running. I'm still trying to do 3 times a week on that. And that's been really good. My body's working up really well. I'm still kind of experimenting with, I have some new shoes, right? So experimenting with those. Experimenting with different sock combinations too. I did a run just today. Just almost a 5K run from the gym. And I don't know what it was, but my right foot started getting numb right on the bottom of it. So I don't know if it was tied too tightly or the sock was pulled on too tightly. But I stopped off, took a break, loosened them, took the shoe off, retightened it, and it got better, but I'm not sure why I did that. It's satisfying to get a good long string as I go in. It's good. One last thing I didn't talk about was my first taste of outdoor pickleball. So that took place in Edmonton, and it was, I would say, well, I mean, I'm used to indoor, so you have to deal with the conditions, meaning it was hot, which I love, sunny, but it was also very windy. So it played a big role in where you hit the ball and how much spin it needed and all that kind of stuff. So that was something to get used to. I was also, I don't know what I expected as far as like quality of play. If you're familiar with pickleball as a rating system, which is always a very contentious issue in the world of pickleball. Like, how good are you, right? It's always somewhat self-judged. And no one really wants to say that they're bad. So a lot of people just kind of rank themselves as a 4. At least 3.5 and up. And this group was a 4.5 plus. And I would say 80% of them are not that. Like, they're not that. Like, okay, maybe back in the day, you might have been a decent athlete. You can't bend over to pick a ball up, you have an issue. You can't run, you can't backpedal, you can't turn, you can't smash. Like, I get it. You're getting older, you can't do things, so then play with someone, play with a group that is more of your cohort, more of your kind of competition. Trying to equate this to something as far as, like, let's say, someone's about to retire, but you're still playing in the NHL. No, bro. No. I This is a 4.0 plus. I'm going to play. I'm not going to make it easy for you. I'm going to hit the ball at you. I'm going to run circles around you. That's just my first time there, but I'm going to go again and we'll see what it's like. I mean, I guess at the end of the day I'm playing, which is great. But I also want to continue to improve my game. Which means I need to play against players who are better than me. Let's look at the sky to see if it's going to rain. I'm going to try this plastic dip on here. So on that note, I'm going to thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you guys next week.